So you can listen to this practice wherever it is that you find yourself today. You can be sitting down or laying down or even stretching and doing things if that's what you got to do. And hopefully wherever you're at when you listen, this will still be helpful to you in some way. So if you would like to listen in a still position, just feel free to take all the time that you need to arrive there. And allow yourself to fidget, adjust, stretch, or move in whatever ways your body wants to move. As you do your best to not think about the movements or think about how anything looks, but more coming into your sense of feeling. And just following those yummy sensations you may feel when you do some neck rolls or torso twists or side body bends. Just trusting your instincts when it comes to movement. And if what your instincts are telling you, if what feels best in your body is stillness, then honoring that need for stillness whenever that feels like what you need. Again, there's no rush whatsoever. You can keep moving throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. But at any point, if you haven't already and would like to, you can make your way to that still position, just checking in that the spine is nice and straight in whatever position you've chosen. And if you're in a space where you feel safe and would like to, you can allow the eyes to gently close at any time if they aren't already. As you now mark your arrival into your practice today and into your body today with a full, intentional cleansing breath, as you call in this fresh new air into the body and watch yourself as you fill up to every corner and edge of you, and holding that for a moment once you're full to stay in that sense of fullness. And as you need to, slowly letting it all go. Exhaling bit by bit as you gently pull the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to really push that last bit of stagnant air out of you. As you again pause for a moment to now sit in this sense of emptiness and allowing your next breath to come to you as it's needed. And so you can continue to breathe just like this for as many rounds as feels good and helpful to you. Not worrying about the length of your inhales, exhales, and pauses on either side, but just allowing each of the 4 parts of your breath to be exaggerated, whatever that means for you right now. So when the body naturally feels full and would stop inhaling, seeing if you can expand your belly just a tiny bit more to take in one more moment's worth of air and get as full as you can. And when you would naturally roll over to your exhale, holding off on that for one extra moment to stay in that fullness with a bit more intention. And then as you're ready, as you need to, letting it all go. Exhaling fully. And really pushing that last bit of air out of you to truly and deeply empty yourself. And then staying in that emptiness for an extra moment than you might normally. And allowing your next breath to come as it's needed. Just consciously, intentionally slowing down the process of our breath. And therefore, communicating to our nervous system that now is a time to slow down. And you can continue to breathe just like this for as long as you'd like to. But at any point, if you haven't already, you can just release this guidance over your breath altogether and allow yourself to step into that role of the observer or the witness. Maybe even feeling like you're stepping back and up in your mind into that place where you are simply witnessing the fact that your body is breathing, rather than having any direct impact over the rhythm or depth of your breath. But remembering how our breath is the one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. And so letting go of that voluntary guidance we just had over the breath, as you now simply observe the automatic process of your body breathing you. Just as your body breathes even when you're in a deep state of sleep, your body functions perfectly to keep you alive without any of your doing. And so seeing if you can just witness these automatic processes without influencing them at all, even if it's just for a split second. Reminding yourself that this practice is not one of doing or thinking. There's nothing that you should be doing right now or thinking about right now. But this is simply a practice of watching, listening, feeling, receiving, and just taking in your own experience right now. The same way you would watch a movie or a TV show or listen to music. Not trying to change anything about what you are witnessing, but simply watching your own personal movie, your own personal screen. We spend so much time watching screens outside of us. And so just becoming curious about what your own internal mind screen is showing right now, even if that is just darkness. Just looking into that space. Listening closely to your surroundings as you remember that there is no one and no thing out there who is hearing exactly what it is you are hearing right now. Even if there are others in the same room as you. Remembering how what we hear and what we listen to is affected by our attention and our intention. Remembering how you can choose things to listen closer to and almost fuzz out the rest of the sounds. You can notice all of the layers of sounds around you. As you recognize whatever sound it is that you can hear that is furthest away from your body. Maybe the sound of traffic in the distance or birds outside. Or maybe the sound of the lights humming. Even if you're in a space that you first hear as being silent, taking a moment to really listen to all of the sounds that still exist within what we call silence. Or even if you're in a very noisy environment, and maybe there's a lot of sounds around you that you first hear as distracting or annoying. Just allowing every sound you hear to be a part of your own personal symphony. Every sound a reminder of this exact moment. Because the sounds we are currently hearing will only ever exist in this moment. Noticing whatever sounds you can hear that are closest to your body. Listening to yourself, your own surroundings, about a foot on every side of you, and any sounds that exist in this space. And then all of those sounds that exist between your body and the furthest place you can hear. All the different layers of sounds. And allowing your awareness to be drawn to whatever sound is calling your attention. Listening closely there until your attention is drawn elsewhere. And then listening closely there. And beginning to recognize any resting expression that is on your face in this moment. Noticing where tension may be gathering in the face, or in the shoulders, maybe anywhere else in the body. Making note of any emotions that could be communicated by the resting expression on your face. And then just simply allowing your muscles to soften into this moment. Letting your awareness of tension in the body and in the face throughout all the muscles be all that you need to instead choose to soften. And simply allow your jaw to hang into place. Even if you have to open and close the mouth a few times, just finding that place where your jaw naturally rests as you release the tongue from the roof of the mouth as well. And just allow your lips to rest softly on one another. And letting this release of your mouth naturally allow your chin to release even further, along with the nostrils, the cheeks, even the ears. Feeling your eyelids resting softly on one another. As you even allow your eyeballs to rest in their sockets. As you feel your eyebrows softening even more. And you just allow your forehead to be wide and deep. letting your gaze be soft wherever it is you happen to be looking, whether that be at the world outside of you or at the world inside of you. Maybe peering into the backs of the eyelids, or maybe peering up into the forehead, or maybe the eyes roll back even further and peer into the skull itself. Wherever it is that your eyes are looking into that space, the same way we listened to the space around us. Simply watching whatever it is that is in your field of vision. And noticing if what you hear impacts what you see at all, or if there's any relationship between the two. As you now allow your whole body to be just a little bit heavier, and you release yourself into the surface that is beneath you. Allowing your pelvic floor to lengthen and widen as your glutes relax a bit further. And just reminding yourself that it is safe for you to trust your body right now. When you let go in the body, when you allow yourself to be exactly as you already are, you allow yourself to be heavy and big, you can allow yourself to be held and supported by the earth that is beneath you and by the force of gravity all around you. Just remembering that when you let go, when you fully release yourself into exactly where you are, you will not be crushed and you will not float away. But with the security of the earth and gravity, you are held exactly where you need to be. And so awakening that same sense that you may feel when you allow yourself to be held by someone you love. Maybe a person or maybe an animal. But just that moment when you are hugging a loved one and you exhale into that hug. When you allow yourself to be held, to be loved and supported. Seeing if you can awaken that same sense where you allow yourself to be loved and held and supported with the earth, with gravity, with your own skin that is hugging all of your muscles, all of your bones and organs, keeping everything intact. Feeling that full-bodied hug that comes included in your own anatomy. I'm beginning to listen now to that steady, gentle rhythm That is your own heart beating. The beating of your own heart within your own chest. And bringing some of your attention to your ears. Maybe even feeling a slight pulse, a pulse that exists in the ears. As you just simply follow that pulse with your awareness into the ears, through the ear canals, as your awareness meets at the space between the inner ears. At the very center of the skull. And feeling this pulse in the head as it connects to its origin, traveling down through the throat, into the chest, and into the heart itself. As you remind yourself that this pulse that is beating in your own heart is connected to every inch of your body. This heart is pumping life to every inch of you, to your toes, to the tips of your fingers, to the tip of your head, and every area in between. Maybe it feels nice for you to even place one or both hands on top of the heart as you just encourage that feeling from the outside as well. As you remind yourself of all of the changes, all of the transformations that this heart has empowered. This heart has been pumping life into you from before you were even breathing air. From the time you were in your mother's womb up to this exact moment. And it will continue to do so until our bodies are done. And this heart has transformed with you through every single moment of your life. And there is nothing in particular that you have done or are doing to make your heart beat. There's nothing you have done or are doing to earn this beating heart. It is a simple gift. It is the greatest gift. And this heart is your own personal and direct line of connection to whatever source or force it is out there that allows our hearts to beat. The source or force that allows all of life to exist. This heart has been with you through every step of your journey, and it will continue to be with you. And just reminding yourself of how far you have come in this life. It can be so easy to forget where we've come from, forget all of the goals that we've had, that we've already achieved, all of the transformations we've already been through. Just transforming from being a fetus, not even breathing air, to who you are right now. Remembering that this is life. Everything in this life is constantly changing. Everything in nature is constantly changing, constantly transforming, just as you are. And it is a part of the human experience to forget about change and to assume that we've always been this way and we always will be this way, to feel stuck, maybe. But those are simply feelings that we experience, and they are never going to be fact. Because the only fact we know for sure is that everything changes. And so you can trust that you are already on your way to where you want to be. And you can let your heart be your anchor through all of this change. Your heart is steadily beating for you throughout every change you've already been through and every change you will go through. Every change you're currently going through. And nature can be a great comfort and a great reminder of inevitable change. And in Hellenistic astrology, there is an analogy of the sun and the moon, where the moon represents our body. Just like our physical body, our bones, muscles, joints, skin, and everything in between, it is simply matter. Just like the moon, it is matter. It does not have its own light, but it reflects the light of the sun, which is the representation of our own soul. The soul that entered our body when we were born and will leave our body when we're done. The spark within us that animates our body, that brings our body to life. And just like the moon, sometimes our body is fully illuminated by this soul, by our own soul, by life and love, and we feel full and bright and like we can shine light for others in the darkness. And then there are other times where the exact same moon is in the shadows, and it is a new moon, not reflecting any light whatsoever, but is still there. Sometimes we are like a new moon, and we are in the shadows. We feel disconnected from our soul, from life, and like maybe we can't even be seen. And then there are all of those phases in between the new moon and the full moon. And we don't assume that there's something wrong with the moon when it is in the shadows. We understand that it is another phase the moon has to move through. And so there is nothing wrong with you when you are in the shadows, when you are feeling in darkness and disconnected. It's simply another phase you will move through. And we can make the changes we move through in life so much easier on ourselves by understanding that everything will change. And letting go of all of those voices of resistance that will come up as well. The voices that will say, well, I should be feeling better, I should be motivated, I should be happy. Or when you're feeling motivated and happy, maybe those voices that try to bring you down, that say you shouldn't be happy when there's so much pain in the world. And instead, when those voices of resistance pop up, allowing those voices themselves to act almost as cues for you to instead remind yourself, whatever I'm feeling is exactly what I should be feeling, simply because I'm feeling it. And the only way we move on from feelings is through feeling them. And so you can allow yourself to be in darkness if that's where you are. To comfort yourself however you need to be comforted in order to make it to the next phase. And you can also allow yourself to be bright and whole if that's where you are. And use that brightness that you feel to shine that light for others in the darkness. Remembering that everything is temporary. And so allowing yourself to make the most out of the goodness you feel when you feel it. And if you're in a really tough phase right now, when you're in darkness, not making that any heavier on yourself by punishing yourself for feeling bad. And just allow yourself to feel bad. We are humans and we will feel bad. And we will also feel good. And we wouldn't know what good even feels like if we didn't know what bad feels like too. Because what we are actually feeling is that contrast between the extremes. And so you are allowed to appreciate your lows the same way you would appreciate your highs, since your highs would not exist without them. If every single day was a good day, then it wouldn't be good. It would be normal. It would be average. And so you can just allow yourself to be in a bad place if that's where you are, and trust that it is temporary. It's the only thing we know for sure. As well as letting yourself be in a good place if that's where you are, or any mixture of the two. Remembering how we exist in so many different worlds simultaneously. And so maybe if you're having a bad day when it comes to your health, maybe you're having a good day when it comes to your personal relationships. And so feeling free to lean on those aspects of your life that provide more comfort for you when you're dealing with difficult things. Maybe your work life is stressful and not going so well, but perhaps your spiritual life is comforting. Or even if it feels like every single aspect of your life is not good, just letting yourself be there. Knowing that it is temporary, even when it feels like this is how it's always been and how it always will be. That will never be true. I'm going to read now a passage from The Way Forward, written by young Pueblo. You can just allow yourself to continually soften your body, continually allow yourself to feel exactly what it is you're feeling. As you allow anything that feels like it resonates with you or feels helpful to you to just soak in a little bit deeper and not worrying about the rest. There will be challenges, unwanted moments, unexpected heartache, unforeseen difficulties. Times when you have no other option but to face the chaos. Life will ask you to stand tall and grow, even when you are tired. And in these moments of expansion, you will see that you are more than a match for what scares you. You are stronger than you imagined. Our society glorifies speed, big leaps forward, and meteoric rises. But reality usually moves at a slower pace, especially when it comes to personal transformation. Not every day needs to involve a, quote, big win for you to end up in a thriving and beautiful place. Transformation isn't a smooth process. Cloudy days are bound to happen. Setbacks are natural. Down moments are expected. Often, it will feel like you are moving against a strong current of old conditioning. But with time and repetition, this resistance will soften, and the new you will come forward. Our task, as we develop new ways of living, is to embrace the idea that small, daily accomplishments are more valuable than fast results. This is how we build momentum for the long journey. Remember, happiness is not achieved overnight. Peace takes time to build, and a healthy mind requires slow and gentle tending. What can you do to connect with your true purpose and gifts? When you start turning inward to heal and let go, you remove the layers of heavy conditioning and trauma that have been blocking your natural creativity from coming forward. When your mind is lighter, it will more easily connect with its talents and genuine aspirations, and you will find a way to use those talents to serve others. No one can show up 100% of the time. Next time you feel upset for temporarily not being the best version of yourself, notice the attachment you have to perfection. Remember that you occasionally need to slow down and preserve your energy in order to fully restore your well-being. And a real conversation with a good friend can be so powerfully healing. Sometimes what you need is to be truly vulnerable and feel completely seen. Connecting with another person at such a deep level can leave you feeling re-energized and refreshed. How do you build a good life? Relentlessly follow your intuition. Build with people who also love to grow. Take responsibility for your healing. Love yourself so deeply that you feel at home in your own body and mind. Teach yourself to forgive. And never stop being a kind person. So just take the next few moments to allow every single word you've heard today, every single feeling you've felt today, to settle. As if your body's a snow globe, and every word and feeling just a speck of glitter in that snow globe. And now is the time to set you down, let the glitter settle, and let the air clear. Trusting that anything at all that you heard today that resonated with you, rang true in some way, or felt helpful. Trusting that those feelings sometimes can come when we hear on the outside what a part of ourselves already knows to be true on the inside. So just allowing those truths to be enhanced within you so that you feel a little bit more confidence to act on your own intuition. And just taking a moment to remind yourself that you already know all it is that you need to know, all it is you need to do. And there's nobody else out there who will be able to teach you more about yourself, your journey, your passions, your sense of purpose, than what quiet time with yourself will be able to teach you. What reflecting about yourself and your feelings and your actions will be able to teach you. By the things that come up when we are talking with a loved one. Oftentimes we learn so much about ourselves through ourselves and through our connections with our loved ones. And just remember that if anyone ever tries to take that power away from you, or if that power has been taken from you in the past, remember that you can reclaim this at any time. You do not need anyone else or anything else to show you the way, or one more thing to be happy, one more course, one more ingredient. You already have all it is that you need. And so finding peace within that, acceptance with where you are right now. Remembering that acceptance does not mean that you like it or agree with it or even want it to be this way. It simply means that you acknowledge reality, which is the first necessary step in any real change. And so it is possible for you to love and accept yourself for who you are fully right now, while at the same time having goals and aspirations to grow in a different direction. And just be so patient and kind to yourself through this difficult journey that is life. So if it feels like something you'd like to do today, you can just let your hands find each other in a prayer position toward heart center. As you feel all of this power generated through you, you feel your heart lift toward your thumbs as your thumbs press back toward your heart. And remember how all of the love that is in your heart is in your hands as well. And your hands have the power to create and to heal through this love in your heart. Your hands have the power to create whatever is on your heart to create. So taking one more final deep and full breath into the body as you let yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you with this fresh, new air. And as you exhale, letting go of anything at all that you're ready to let go of, as you allow the head to gently bow. As you take a moment now to bow to the source of energy that allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today, for taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.